All right, we're at the office and we're taking off to do a little prospecting in my car. I hope it makes it. It's puttering along, and I have my friends Crystal and Shelly here. One thing I want to talk to you about is prospecting, and what prospecting is. Prospecting is when you are in an area. And what I would recommend to you is, I think when you are starting out, you want to try to buy properties within an area. Now, it's real important to be able to control the area that you're in, control it in the sense of being able to collect rents, do maintenance, and to also have an influence on how much you charge for rent, but also the values of properties. So this happens to be a street that's in my buying area. I buy within an area. This is a pretty good street. I specialize in middle class, blue collar, hardworking people that they would buy. These are the kind of houses that they would buy. It's a mixed neighborhood. You got whites, you got Afro American, you got Hispanic. They're all in the area. So what I'm actually looking at here is I'm looking at the condition of the properties. I'm looking at to see how their grass is mowed, if the trees are being taken care of. I'm paying particular attention to houses that are boarded up. Anything boarded up, anything that has a city sticker on it. Every city is going to have a building department, possibly a code enforcement department that's going to monitor the condition of properties. A couple of these houses to my left were built by Habitat. We have a strong Habitat community here. They build houses and do some owner financing and help people get into the properties. This is a good sign. They're averaging 70 to 80,000 in this street, which if you're able to buy a property for under $10,000, renovated, you're going to have some value. Okay. So I'm driving down here, and you never know. A house today may not be for sale, but it may be available tomorrow. You just never know. You're looking at the condition of their cars, whether or not they're clean, whether or not they're beat up, whether or not there are cars even in the neighborhood. This is a property here that is going to be part of this swap that we're talking to Crystal and Shelly about right here to the right. This is a house, and they call it guerrilla marketing. You might look at that sign that says for sale by owner, call Nancy at a certain number. I talked to her a couple days ago, and she really didn't put a very good sign up there. It's not going to attract attention. She didn't get very many calls. When I talked to her, she was complaining about the yard, that it needed to be mowed. She was on the verge of getting a violation. So I took it upon myself, and I came over here and I mowed the yard for her, which is a way of gaining her trust. There's a lot you can do. For instance, you can send letters and postcards, and we'll talk about that in the approach to contact people. But the other thing, which is the best thing to do, is to be able to just talk to them and eyeball to eyeball and actually see what their problems are and what they're looking at. This is a real nice house. The advantage to this house versus other houses on the street, it's a brick house, so you have very little exterior maintenance to deal with. I went inside. It's full of junk and garbage. You might have 3 or 4 dumpsters full of junk to get out. But the things that I checked initially are the foundations, the structure, the exterior, the windows, the heating system, and the electrical system. Everything else we can pretty much do ourselves. Those things normally require a tradesman. So she bought that house at a city tax sale for $25,000. She wants to sell it for $55,000. Normally, I would offer $10,000, or as we'll talk later on, I have a standing offer of $5,000 for any property. This is a house here. There's a yellow placard on the house. It's got 6 mailboxes on the property. That would be a house that I would target for purchase. The only problem with that is that you're going to have to bring it back to a single family house. It's probably broken up into 6 apartments. They're not going to allow that. The grandfather clause normally expires after 2 years. But that would be one. And I'm sure that a lot of flippers and investors are looking at that house as well. That's one block off. Completely different dynamics are going to be involved in that house as the one we're on the street we're on here. This house to the right is another house. It's a nice house on Roar Avenue, boarded up, yellow placard. The people you just don't know what they're involved in. Particularly in this particular case, people end up having financial problems, deaths in the family, fights, all kinds of things happen to people that their lives change and they have to make a change. It's interesting how people that inherit property normally don't know what to do with it. A lot of people think that their property that they've inherited, think their property is way overvalued in price.